hypocrites, floating on their delicate feet over the cold pews. She finds no solace in any of these things. She believes she sees through them. Their hands and faces stiff with holiness. Once again, she's mocking the people she shares a village with who oppress her, and correctly so and incorrectly so. The moon sees nothing of this, which is why she idolises this role model. She is bald. She doesn't have to have her hair the way a woman is presumed to have her hair, and wild. She's allowed to, and she doesn't. Nobody complains about the tide that she pulls behind her. They appreciate it. And the message of the yew tree, and this has really resonated with McCallum: blackness and silence that she brings on herself. And the famous character from a show called The Fast Show, where the guy was obsessed with the black. If you don't have full function here and full function there, you're missing meaning to your life. You're missing the true perception of what it's like to exist in reality and just to have sense. If you're missing a sense, you have less sense. And as I've said in the last video, if I could have made huge allowances for McCallum, I would have done, and did. All the ifs. I would not have given a fuck about her being ginger. I wouldn't have given a fuck about her not having a tooth in her mouth, believe it or not. I'm not superficial. I wouldn't have given a fuck about the fact she's got one eye. Right? I wouldn't have given a fuck if she'd put on 4 stone or whatever. I wouldn't have given a fuck about other things that and if she'd come correct, if she'd come to me and said, where she was in life, that she wanted to change and all the rest of it. However, I've portrayed how she wanted to come to me, and it certainly wasn't to change, but yet I made a huge impact on her, whether she changed or not. And in return, she decided to try and get me arrested. So I went along with it to try and expose the police farce. And in the little time I have left here, I'll do another one later. Suffice to say, I chose to get arrested so that she would appear in court, and so she may stop her crap and evil between then and that time. And so I chose to manipulate her overtly. I tend not to manipulate people except overtly, never influence anyone, which is annoying a wee bit. In the past it used to be annoying actually, because I could easily make anything I want happen. I have to be 100% moral and I have to be 100% honest. And so I'm on the toughest mode that I call insane mode. In computer games you can set it to insane mode. Not played one for years, but the point being like that, like where you I can't remember the name of it, but anyway, you set it to insane mode, and otherwise there's no point playing the game, and I'm not into playing games in real life. All I'm into doing is saving children's lives, producing my art as though the Fukushima wasn't killing everybody, as though there weren't Zionist turds and rings of complicit paedophiles and sex offenders destroying your life, whose wages you're paying from your stable. Go and look at the work of Robert Peel and how he tried to help Ireland turn over what the English scum had done to them. However, that will become clearer in Erol and Denell talks. What was behind that? And he tried, and eventually he did manage to get the corn laws changed for Ireland. While they were still stealing their beef and all these other things. And they're still tormenting them to this day. Psychopaths are the scum of the fucking earth, yeah? McCallum had that little sliver of a heart. And so, although I don't know anything other than what she's sent to Cheryl a month ago, right? I said in the last video, and I think I've said in other ones, I've said to all the Mary Magdalens out there and the males, psychopaths who've targeted me, to record themselves like this. It doesn't have to be as hilariously funny as I've made this one. And to send me that, or send Cheryl it. Right? Cheryl's a good person, and she'll forward it to me. Or write something and send it. Cheryl will forward it to me. And it doesn't have to be anything that you think that I might be looking for. Just remember these immortal words. I see into people's soul, no matter how tiny, to the nth degree. And I sense their suffering, right? And, nobody knows what I've been through. I'll expose it in Erol PTSD and Erol child abuse unless I combine the two. And what I've overcome and what I overcome on a daily basis, because you can still crawl and you can still smile, right? And all I'm pointing out is, if you look at your suffering, if you were to weigh it, if you were to put it all together and actually give it a weight, comparatively towards somebody eating a cream cake or a meringue, right? And a meringue. And the thing is, right, if you were to do that, to weigh all your sorrow, to weigh it, give it a tangible weight, right? Now, truly articulate it, right? As best you can. And say, right, that's the weight of my sorrow. That's what I wish hadn't happened to me, That's what I carry with me. And that's my dead weight. That's what I want to give to other people as a burden. And all these other degenerate things come from that. But what I'm pointing out is, if you just calculate it, just go back to when you were an orphan or whatever it may well be, as I know more than one Mary Magdalene who was an orphan, and so on and so forth, and the tragedy of what Zionist paedophiles had in store for them. If you just add it all together and go through the whole process, then just think, there's a girl in Eritrea. She's the same age you were when it all started turning shite for you. Yeah. And in Eritrea, just look at the parallel. Right? She's almost butt naked. She's in baking African heat and freezing African nights. She's surrounded by fucking lunatics. She's preyed on. She's vulnerable, as you could possibly imagine. She's starving. She's got an extended stomach. She's routinely hit. Her father was murdered. Her mother's starving. And at any juncture, anything can happen. If you look at her life, right, it doesn't have to go the same way yours did. You can genuinely do something about that for what it's worth. And if you can, you must. And although you can't change what happened to you in your past, nor should you. Because everyone's got something phenomenal to offer. It's just we're all divided and disconnected since they locked us in the stable. And we can take this all back. And what I'm saying is, females have been so empowered that, especially if females come forward, like McCallum and co, and say, look, just deliver something that can be put to bloody good use. Yeah? Then in return, I'll seriously consider, if not immediately grant, whatever wish you could close your eyes and wish would come true. I channel the moral law of the universe. I genuinely perform miracles. you couldn't have got a more articulate answer to all of Marie McCallum's prayers. You know what I mean? An alcoholic, I own a fucking vineyard, I own 4 fucking vineyards. You know what I mean? I'll never know what it's like to go to a supermarket and pay for booze ever again. I'll never know that feeling of, here, I'm almost out of booze. That panic at 2 a.m. when you should be going to your bed. You know, I'm going to climb over that garage and get to the petrol station. You know, but the point is that, and also just every single one of her prayers was answered in me, but she didn't come correct, and so she got what she deserved. But what I'm pointing out is, with her and those like her, I can channel a miracle for you if you deserve it. And if you do this, compared to all other psychopaths, then you deserve a miracle. Another one. And life can be magical. I've seen kids who were starving to death send me letters telling me they've now got a milky cow. Imagine Africans not having a fucking cow, you know what I mean? And walking about in their fucking bare feet, and when they're going huge distances and that. What I'm saying is, and then send me photographs, man. The Ethiopians were, my God, when you saw a photograph of their gratitude, it just came right out of the photograph, you know. And I'm not looking for gratitude, I'm simply saying they deserve it, you know, they deserve all of us, you know, to help them. And in so doing, by parallel, we help ourselves, but that shouldn't be our motivation. My point being, really simple. If you out yourself, like me, McCallum has been sending me shit for 3 fucking years, right? Put it all together, surface yourself, you know, submariner, you know, in your ginger submarine, right? All the other people who know who you are, yeah, you can contact me with your proof, or whatever it is you want to try and give me, and whether it be personal, impersonal, something that I couldn't think of, or whatever it might be. Just understand this. In McCallum's case, there is no way I can ever know what you sent me ever again, because other than this, Cheryl's sworn to 100% secrecy. We almost did not know. I almost didn't know, you know, like what had come in the last month, but I relented, and you know. However, I still don't know. I'm sure it's been at least 4 weeks since then. So since those ones. So I don't know what's happened, you know, since Cheryl told me 4 weeks preceding that time. And so so it's been 2 days, but 4 weeks preceding that, I don't know what McCallum's tried to communicate in any way, shape or form. All I know is just over 4 weeks ago, I think, she tried to contact me in certain ways. And slightly annoyingly, Cheryl told me, you know, she's been sending loads of things. I don't know what they are, you know. However, you can't get anything past me. And so, there is no way of communicating with me ever again. So, Merry Christmas and goodbye. See, I'm not going to hold my breath as much as she would want me to, you know, for a good while. You know, there's a few out there, and yet, all I've said is, weigh your suffering and compare it to that wee girl in Ethiopia, who's definitely going to die. You can save her, and I can save you. Whether you believe in hell or not, right? There's only one or two outcomes there. Either hell does exist, or it doesn't. If it doesn't, then you cease to exist for eternity, and what you've done is have a shite life, really, no matter how you look at it, a failure. You save that one wee girl, and those like her, that can channel the surfacing of people like yourselves, then your life has great meaning, you know, and for what it's worth to you. And what I'm pointing out is, if hell does exist, You've only got these two options. Either it doesn't exist and you cease to exist for eternity, or it does exist. And I'm channeling the moral law of the universe as living proof. I've walked through fucking prison bars going, as you'll find in the next video, right? You'll piss yourselves laughing, right? I ripped the fucking pish out of an entire police force, right? Fucking left them devastated. And, you know, was in court, fucking destroy the whole court on record, right? And exposed a paedophile in the sociopath work department who I've never met in person, or I would have executed him. And I still wouldn't have thought it was right at the time. And basically, lucky him, unlucky everybody else. Right? His name's Paul Goodship. You need to execute Paul Goodship. He admitted to me to being a sociopath who hoovers children into a paedophile ring. That's Paul Goodship, working in the sociopath work department of North Lanarkshire, and his partner Susan, who admits to being a sociopath as well. Also, the pigs are Lorraine Sharkey, Stevie Nolan, I think his name is. They are megalomaniacal psychopath and narcissistic psychopath with some temporal lobe dysfunction on his part. Both admitted to being psychopaths to me. Jeanette Cameron, who's their gaffer's gaffer, who is a megalomaniacal psychopath. Gillian Murdoch, who's a wahoo megalomaniacal psychopath. And the aforementioned ones I've covered in this in the previous one. And another guy who I'll expose in the next one, who's 90% chance he's a paedophile. Very, very, very likely. And so, all the pigs I'm talking about, if you brain scan them with an fMRI scan machine, you'd find every word I'm saying to be true. So there you are paying the wages of psychopaths who get off on targeting people in the community they know to be human, whom they're existentially jealous of, who they want to abuse because that's why they went for the job. Stable. Right? So to reprise just very slightly. So, there's no way I'm ever going to listen to anything Cheryl tells me unless it's something specific from the aforementioned people. If they want to prevent from happening to a little girl the weight that she needn't carry, that will kill her, you know, decades earlier than the survivors I'm communicating to. You can genuinely surface however you choose, instead of covertly and foolishly and with evil intent as at least one of the hedged bets. Otherwise, as I've said, my Christmas gift to you is goodbye. And a little thanks for helping me, you know, in amongst trying to kill me and having me arrested and, well, having me detained and me choosing to be arrested, really. Having me detained 3 times, that was hilarious. And the shit's garbage, you know, I'm a living Christ, you know, fuck it easy. And so, yeah, I'm on a planet of savage beasts, and I'm saying to them, I need to do more, and I can do more, and I will do more, and I'm doing more. I can do even more. The more people realise what's the most important thing in the universe. If it isn't that wee girl, then what is it? You know? So see yourself in that wee girl. You don't have to feel it in. Just know your own experience, how that felt for you. And know that you can save her from that. She doesn't have to go through that. It's needless, you know. Excruciating agony and death. Yeah. And these Zionist subhuman pricks want that to happen. As I've said, in Ethiopia, I'm the most human people out of all the kids whose lives I've saved. in the most human by fucking miles, and unsurprisingly the most genocided area in the world. And so people need to wake the fuck up and get rid of these needless constables and fucking filthy psychopaths who get the job specifically in the wee tiny clown outfit to abuse people, and if they can't abuse people they get worse and worse and worse towards that person until they want that person sectioned and done in, as you'll find out in the next video. The shit's garbage and I fucked everyone. Fucking easy. And I've got loads of evidence on them and I'll reveal it in the next one. And so, Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Memus. However, like I say, give the gift of life and think about eternal life if you're wrong.